All right, and I think we're live. Hello, and welcome back to yet another installment of hashtag CAD Model of the Day live stream. So, how many viewers we got here? Oh, we got a couple people. Yeah. So, this one was a lot shorter notice, but if you're watching this in the future, feel free to subscribe and hit the bell, and you'll get those notifications as soon as I go live. Usually, I'll give it at least an hour. Like I think today was about an hour of an hour of notice. But yeah, I just kind of see what my schedule's like, and if I have some time, I like to stream a little bit. So let's do this. So today, I think we're gonna do mechanical movements. So that is among my most popular posts on Instagram right now, and yeah, I mean it's just super fun to do it, and I hope that you'll find this process of getting a 2D drawing of what came out of a book from 1826 into into modern times, easily animated so you can easily see what it does. But yeah, so first thing what we need to do is actually pick a mechanical movement. So let me move here, and I'll bring this window over. And yeah, this is 507mechanicalmovements.com. And this site reproduces each of the mechanical movements that are found in the original 1826 publication by Henry Brown. The ones that are in color are actually animated by the person who runs a site. Except I shouldn't show them to you because technically the animations here are copyright. So I don't want to show those. But these, the black and white ones, since this came out from an American publication from 1826, this is out of copyright. This is public domain, so it's fair game. But yeah, we just gotta pick something out. So let's see here. I also got to keep track of what I've already done. Here's movement 27. That was the first one I ever did, and that's when I realized that's when I realized my following actually has a craving for this stuff. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. So I did movement 27. It turned out pretty well, and I haven't stopped ever since. Yeah, there's 37. I did that one pretty recently too. Um, Yeah. Oh, actually, so something that I'll run by you guys. I want to do 54, except I don't understand it very well. And I'm okay with admitting that. So I can see here that this large circular member is a face gear. It has gear with involute teeth that are pointing out of the screen pretty much. And this is a pinion that meshes with it. I don't know what A is. I don't know if this is a mistake in the original publication. I think it is because it's not only on this site but every other instance of this movement 54 I found. The description does not refer to A or B in the description at all. And usually in these descriptions, they'll say, "Oh, A is this thing, B is this thing." So it describes it as a mangle or star wheel for producing alternating rotary motion. Um, I can see how rotary motion can come out of the large wheel. It spins clockwise or counterclockwise, and will mesh with this gear. I don't know what A is. I don't know what A is supposed to do, or if that, or what it does to make the rotary motion alternating. So if any of you have an idea, feel free to drop a comment or, find me on Twitter or Instagram and just let me know what I'm missing because that one's an enigma to me. And I really want to do it. So yeah, my goal is to really eventually animate all of these. I want to have a full database where anyone can look at these movements and just really study them. Yeah, 82 looks pretty interesting. Let's see. On motion being given to two treadles. I don't know what that word is, but well, I mean, this is what I was saying. It calls it out, so I know that there are these little stick things here. A nearly continuous motion is imparted through vibrating arms B, so that's these guys, and they're attached pulls to the ratchet wheel A. Okay, so these things go back and forth and cause this to spin counterclockwise. Okay, and then I see probably these two sticks are one in front of the other. Yeah, that's what it appears to see. There's a hinge over here. That's good. And then I have what appears to be a stand. And I C. Okay, C is a pulley. Okay, so these things are right next to each other. Okay, so when you push one of those levers down, the other one goes up, so it does this motion, and I guess that's what keeps it keeps the pawls engaged. I think let's do this one. 82. Yeah, I haven't done this one before, but I mean I would remember. This one's pretty unique. But yeah, first thing I need to do, or I like to do with these, is save the PNG, because I can actually bring it in as a sketch picture, and it helps me keep track of this stuff. So yeah, we don't need this anymore. I think we can just go into SolidWorks now. New part. All right, so yeah, I get this a lot. I actually model all of the parts in one part file, and then I export them afterwards. It For me, it saves a lot of time with assemblies, and just makes it a lot easier to deal with. So you're gonna see me model all of the members in this one part file. So let me save this, give it a place to live on my hard drive. So this is mechanical movement 82. If I haven't already forgotten. Yeah, here we go. Just throw a sketch on the front plane. I'm just going to use the sketch picture and bring it in. Okay, now. I think I'll set the origin, the center of that ratchet wheel. Kind of an arbitrary choice at this point. It could be the center of these pins, I guess, but it's just whatever you want. And now here's the tough part. We have to venture a guess for the size of this wheel, which will in turn drive the size of everything else. So I'm just going to guess it's 6 inches in diameter. Yeah. Nothing too scientific. It's just really a visceral, like, how big do you think it is? So I'll drag the things there, and I'll say that it's 6. It doesn't have to be perfectly centered either. So this was, of course, sketched by hand. It's not going to be perfect at all. Yeah, whenever you do a sketch picture, always leave the picture in its own sketch. If you start drawing stuff on top of it, you're going to need to hide and show stuff. And, well, if you want to hide the picture, it'll hide all the sketch entities away, and that can be very inconvenient. Let's just start with the easiest part first. A lot of people ask, a lot of the stuff you do is just, so difficult and stuff like that. How do you manage it? It's just like, pick something just start with the easy stuff and just kind of work your way around, little by little. All right, so I'm gonna assume that the teeth here. So that was the 6 inches that I estimated. So this should be 6. May have undersized it a bit, but that's fine. And I'm gonna draw another. Yeah, let me get this construction like that, because I really want the base circle, like up to here, like up to the bottom of the teeth, not this line here. So what does that want to be? 5 1/4. Yeah, that's good. That's good enough for me. All right, so now we can extrude this, and let's just say it's 1/2 inch. Again, it's just kind of gut reaction. What is a reasonable thickness for a part like this to be? All right, and I think we can start with the ratchet teeth now. Let's start another sketch. Just right here is fine. I don't think I really need an involute profile. Although, well, let's try this. So that actually ends up right at the top there, so that'll work out pretty well. And of course that slopes down like this. I might be able to use close sketch. Reverse, so Alt R. Yeah, that's really unnecessary. I could have converted entities and trimmed, but I think that's a fancy trick as well. So, yeah, here's the thing. I just need to get this angle to be an integer divisor of 360. So, 14. So I know 30. So let's see 360 divided by 30. So 30 instances. Maybe a little less. Yeah, if we do 15, we'll get an integer number. Let's just leave it like that. And yeah, let's grab this. So that actually should be 3, if that's going to be the coincident with the outer circle that we specified earlier. And now I can actually just adjust that radius to whatever I want. Let's just put it 2 for right now. I think that'll be fine. And let's extrude. And let me see if I can get a select other here for up to surface. Yeah, and this whole thing's blocking me. So if I ever decide to change the thickness of this, it'll update. So now I have to pattern. A lot of the times these patterns like to fail. And if it does, I'll just unmerge it and pattern it as bodies. But yes, features and faces. We'll grab the second boss extrude. And yep, 24 instances looks to be the proper amount, and that is the basic form of the ratchet wheel. That's done. I could even, punch the hole in it if I want. Yeah, so you see it's not matching up with the sketch perfectly. That's fine. As long as it's a ratchet wheel, it should work just fine. Yeah, actually, let me get that inner hole. I can hide this body. Just kind of match that up with there and just give that 0.875 maybe. Looks pretty good. And I can just punch that through all. Why has it got contours? There we go. Just like that. And actually, so I think this inner circle here is a weight saving pocket. And I'm going to add that. Even though functionally it shouldn't change anything, it'll make this look a little bit more appealing, and it'll make it a little bit easier to tell what it is at first glance. So that's kind of the key with like these animations is not only am I making them move, but they should clearly denote what their purpose is through the animation. That's part of the communications, and I've been successful in some regards, and other times, I could have been a little bit better. But yeah, it's a learning process. That's what CAD Model of the Day is all about. I learned so much from this project, and 229 days ago, I was not nearly as proficient as a modeler as I am right now. Alright, so what does that want to be? Slightly bigger. Oh, that looks like that really wants to be 5. Yeah, that looks really good. Okay. Can extrude. And let's just say 0.125. Yeah, there we go. And you notice I didn't put a mid-plane, so I'm going to have to create a plane if I want to mirror this around. But there's going to be some elements that are going to be into the background, so yeah, there's going to be a lot of that anyway. Yeah, so I can just say, give me that. You see how useful it is to be able to hide the picture away? And give me that. There we go. Now we got a ratchet wheel. Save. Can even set the material now. Yeah, what I like to do with these inner bosses just to make them look good. Not plastic. But if I go to iron, cast iron, and I'll just set that for the features. And I'll actually change this to plain white. There you go. There's your ratchet wheel. All right, back to the picture. What else can we try right now? I kind of want to make this hinge next. Yeah, I'll define where these bars are gonna go, the connections, and I'll kind of work my way to connecting them. Yeah, let's do that. So next thing is this thing, which looks to be a bar stretched across probably a pair of pillow blocks if I had to venture a guess. And I won't put too much time into it because remember, CAD model today is not supposed to be an overly laborious project. It's just for fun. So I'm probably just gonna do like the simplest of blocks. And it looks like that wants to be 0.75, 125. Yeah, so just really defining where everything's gonna pivot, I think is gonna, not 20, but 2. It's gonna help a lot. So you can see it's a little bit off, but that's fine. All right, so yeah, let's get a rectangle, and then I'll bridge those together and trim. So I can say, select that midpoint, vertical, maybe 2.25. This is a guess. Height of 0.375, 3/4 of an inch. All right, and okay, we still need its offset from here. 1.25 looks like a good value. And yeah, that's literally what I do for all of these. I just have the picture and I just kind of try to make the values fit with, like, you know, numbers that make sense, you know. All right, so I think a couple of arcs will be pretty good. Maybe something like this. Yeah, and I'm snapping to those midpoints, so it's not going to be exactly tangent. That actually might mess me up, actually. Let me get rid of those. And also picked up a horizontal. And do that and say this with that tangent. Okay, yeah, because if I put it all the way up, there's going to be a tiny little overlapping area. That's just going to ruin my day. Tangent. And you can set... oh yeah, so I tried to draw a box. You see it says no. And that's because I'm trying to draw a box over the sketch picture, and it counts that as geometry. There's actually a solution for this, and in 2018, SOLIDWORKS 2018 Plus, if you press your T key on the keyboard, so I just press T, you can actually select over geometry, and that is super helpful for selecting, basically selecting over sketch geometry. Except this thing was in the way. Try that again, because I just want to make these equal, like that, and just kind of pick a radius that suits my fancy. All right, we got a couple more viewers. Hello, new people. Feel free to say hello in the chat. We're just hanging out. That's all we're doing here. Right, so I can trim this, or I can just leave it as multi-contour. Yeah, there's really no reason to leave it as multi-contour, unless I really wanted to put a lot of details in these blocks. Yeah, let's try it out. You know, I'll just leave it. So typically leaving these overlapping contours can lead to some problems, but you know, we'll see how that works. So before I extrude this, I'll save, but even before that, I need to figure out how long this bar is. Again, it's just a 2D sketch, so you don't have that information. You don't have any of those dimensions, and I'm just gonna guess 6 inches. I'm gonna guess that this block that I just sketched out is 3 inches from the plane, and then I'll do a mirror to get the total 6 inches. So let's hide the sketch picture, and yeah, we'll extrude this thing. All right, and go into my selected contours. Say I want this and that. Why is it thin? Be thick. There we go. And maybe 1/2 inch. And then I can say offset 3. Okay, I think that's what I want to go for. And then I'll actually go back into the absorb sketch, grab it again, hit extrude, because now what I can do is grab that other contour and let's say, can I say offset from, well, I'll just say offset 3.125. Yeah, it's kind of manually doing math, but it's one of those things that I don't expect this thing to be changed that a whole lot. Definitely, if you're making parts for your company, you definitely want to put a little bit more intelligence than that. Just so whenever you change it, things don't break. But I think that thing looks fine. Looks like this thing over here is a rib. Yeah, sure. You know what? I'll do it. I'm feeling up for it. We got more viewers in the chat, so I'm feeling it. Hello, Juan. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, and by the way, guys, this is just like us hanging out. I don't want it to feel like a class, so if you have any questions about the model I'm doing here or any past models, feel free to bring that up. I think it's very cool. All right, so I got a line here. Let's throw that to the rib tool. And rib is really cool because you can extrude in perpendicular directions. So originally I could actually go from side to side, but I can change it here, and now it's going inwards. 0.25 maybe. Oh, might have selected body. Hello. Because it should. All right, why don't you want to cooperate? Maybe I have to select it here. All right, well, so it's just one of those things. If one thing doesn't work, just try something else. 2 direction. Oh, no. Mid plane. 125. I'm going to have to overbuild this, actually, because that's going to give me 0 thickness. So I'll delete that and just bring that all the way to the center, because I haven't punched my hole in yet. So that's an advantage of doing all your bosses before any of your holes. Now I can say up to next, and that should fill in just fine. Alright, so it's just like a simplified version of what they had there. And what I can do now, well, I guess it doesn't really matter. I can punch the hole and mirror, or mirror and then punch the hole. Yeah, I'll just do the mirror first, whatever. Yeah, it's one of those things that I don't think that saves any number of steps. It's always good to consider that. Yeah, and it's there. It's just behind the sketch picture. Again, why it's super useful to keep this in its own separate little thing. My mind is exploding right now. I don't speak much English, but it's interesting. What do you do? Well, thank you for joining anyway. I'm actually astonished about the international audience that I have for my social media stuff. I think it's really awesome. What country are you from, Juan? Yeah, I have a lot of people from, Asia, the Middle East. I have a lot of Brazilians as well on my Instagram, so it gives me those statistics, which I think is very cool. Yeah, and also if you're missing anything, once this stream is uploaded, you can actually change the playback speed on YouTube. So some people tell me I speak kind of slowly actually. So if that's the case, you can actually put me on like 1.5% speed and speed me up, or if I gloss over something too quick, um, you can actually slow it down and see it. Beauty of YouTube and and the fact that it saves all that stuff. All right, we got Juan from Colombia. That's awesome. And we got Francisco from Mexico. Very good, guys. Yeah, fun fact. I'm actually Puerto Rican technically. I was actually born in the United States, but my lineage is from Puerto Rico. But yeah, let's get this hole punched. Do 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 do. So yeah, there we go. We got the center point. Got it to wake up. Uh, let's see the picture again. Maybe tiny bit smaller. So yeah, I like to size it a little bit. Oops, I meant 0.375. Oh my gosh, the mistypes. Okay, there we go. And then I can do an extrude cut with this thing and say through all bodies. And now we should have that. All right, this is looking really, really good. Yeah, let's do the bar that will span both of them. So, I won't overcomplicate things. So I just started a sketch, converted that. I'm going to extrude. And here's a fun little tip. If you double click on a surface, it'll automatically change the end condition to up to surface and then bring all that geometry over so you can see it's spanning both of them. The important thing here, since this is a separate bar, uncheck merge result. And now we have that bar. And notice we're still in the part environment. I don't have to worry about mates and things moving around. I just like this way so much better in my opinion. Yeah, though I've done some of my other CAD model today, I've done it in a assembly and then I do like assembly specific features, but that's kind of rare. In order to make the bar stand out, because if I turn off edges, it would just look like a flat surface. So I'm just gonna put a chamfer on the bar. Oh, probably needs to be even smaller than that. 0.62 divided by 2. It's funny because I meant to say divide by 2, but then I did it in my head and just typed that in. The mistypes. Yeah, I was actually over at Too Tall Toby's channel. I don't know if you guys heard of this guy before, but he does a lot of SolidWorks content as well, and a lot of just modeling content. He was holding qualifiers for a CAD modeling tournament yesterday, and I actually got a spot. So next week you're going to see me compete in a CAD modeling tournament. So I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, I was like typing a whole bunch of stuff wrong. I was losing tons of time. All right, so now we have these sticks. Yeah, it's just really hard to know. They appear to be like flat bars. I think that's what they are because yeah, there's like a hook kind of thing that is holding onto this linkage, which then goes all the way up here. So there's got to be some surface area for that to connect to. So I'm thinking it's a flat rectangular bar is what we're looking at, with a kind of a hinge at the end here. All right, yeah, let's do that. So let's start a sketch on the front plane again. Just to help base. We'll actually get a hinge here as well. And I don't know if you guys ever gotten this problem. So if you click this and say convert, yeah. So selected face does not have a peripheral loop. Who's gotten that before? Let me know in the chat. But yeah, the reason why this happens is because I've selected a face that I've selected a face that technically doesn't really have an endpoint. Doesn't really uh, have an end. So either I can select the circle over here, but if you really need the exact intersection of this bar and the front plane where I'm sketching on, you can actually click, and instead of convert entities, you can actually say intersection curve. And that'll give you the exact intersection of where that bar goes through, if that makes any sense. But yeah, I think it was a cool trick. Okay, so we have something like that. That might be a little too thin, actually. Make that the same as the other. Yeah, that's fine. I think I'm going to average the position of these two bars, actually, because it shows it in one of the extreme positions. Just to make it easier on myself so I can take advantage of mirroring, I'm just going to bring them both to the same level, and then we'll animate from there. Alright, just going to adjust my seat. Yeah, let's do that. I think the easiest way is just get a corner rectangle. Start from right here, go all the way over here. Snap those. So just by virtue of those 2 points being on the circle, it's automatically centered, which I think is pretty cool. So you don't have to add any additional constraints. And now it's just a matter of making these about the same thickness of what it looks like in the picture. So like 1/4 of an inch, flat bar. That's kind of reasonable, I guess. And 10 1/4. All right. Okay, so we're gonna have a contour issue. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm gonna trim that away. If I do that. All right, so who's gotten this before? So let me undo. I'll hide the picture. So everyone knows, or everyone should know, that whenever you have a sketch, you should have it fully defined. Like if you look at the bottom of my SolidWorks screen, it says fully defined. All the material is black, and that means that every dimension that could be added has been added, which means there's no dimension that's overlooked, which means you're not making any mistakes. This is good. So it's fully defined right now, but I get my trim entities and I trim, and my lines are blue. It's underdefined again, so I have more work to do. The reason that happens is the only reason that this is defined, so I hit Control Z. So the only reason that this is defined was because of this line. So this line says that these 2 points that are on the circle are supposed to be exactly vertical from each other. That's what is keeping it fully defined. So if I grab my trim tool and I kill it, if I destroy it, there's nothing telling these points that they should be on top of each other anymore. And thus you have underdefined geometry. The way to fix it, or one way to fix it, you grab those 2 points and you just tell them yourself, be vertical. And you're fully defined again. So I get a lot of people that stumble onto that as well. All right, but I think we're ready to extrude that. The inner contour there is good because that means it won't create any material there. It'll come out with the hole already in there. So I'll extrude that, and this one's gonna have to be kind of long, actually. I think it's gonna have to be like 1 inch long or something like that. Because again, there's gonna be like a connection that has to be made here. And then with the offset, because I want them on either side. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Yeah, so 1 inch offset, 1 inch wide bar, and another 1 inch. So it'll look it will look even. That's what I meant to say. Uncheck merge result gets me a lot. And yeah, actually I can mirror that. So about the front plane, I'll mirror. Make sure it says bodies to mirror. Click that and right click to accept, and there's our 2 pulls as the book describes it. All right. Alright, so I guess what we can do, maybe let's work on this area. So let's say for sure, there is a pulley here. And on this pulley are is going to be a rope connecting to these two members together. Oh, actually what I might do, I might actually put the loops for the connections before mirroring. Yeah, let me do that. So let me get my rollback and say go above, and I'll keep working on this. I think the easiest way, let's get a plane to go through the middle of this. And yeah, let's get like a simple loop. Just like that. Maybe that'll be 0.5. Maybe another 0.5. And let me get the picture back up. Show. Yeah, so I'm a bit off. And also this, I think this thing's way too tall. 0.375. 0.375. Yeah, that's a bit better. And say maybe from this end, that should be 2.375. And that looks to be in the correct place, give or take. And now I'll actually go to my sweep. So if you have 2016 or greater, if you launch your sweep command, you'll have this circular profile option. So you do that, and you can see it's already making geometry, which is, very convenient. And then I could just say how thick I want them to be. Maybe not that thick. Yeah, let's do that. Merge. Make sure I'm only merging with this. And there we go. And we need yet another one. Like over here. I might actually just make this. Yeah, it looks like it's got some weird kind of loop. I think I'm just going to assume that these are just rigid links with pins in them. Yeah, it's tough to tell with these pictures sometimes. They're just so old. Yeah, I think that's what's going to have to be. So we have that loop. That's where like you tie a rope. But yeah, let's do this. Let's sketch on the same plane. Whoops, I hit it. Come back. Sketch. And I'm going to do another small boss. Yeah, actually, I'll do the whole thing, and I'll add a small hole as well. So I'll draw yet another circle on the inside. Yeah, something doesn't seem right here. Oh no, that looks fine, I think. 0.25. That might be too small, actually. Yeah, let me 0.5. And then I can make this 0.5 in diameter this time. Okay. All right, so I'm trying to move this to the left, and this took me a while to get the sense for this. I have like a Hawkeye now of like, if a sketch is not letting me do what I want, I just know what it is. If see if you can figure out what's going on. Pause the video if you feel like, but yeah, basically I accidentally snapped a midpoint. So instead of saying coincident, this says midpoint, which is more specific than coincident. So this is what's keeping my sketch from moving to the side. So I'll delete that, and yep, now my sketch is free again. Now I can set a height, 375 maybe. Actually, let's do 0.5. Alright, and then now we can just say it's going to be a certain offset from this edge, 4.375. Yeah, I like that. So extrude, So you can see with the hole, it just kind of ignores that. Ignores that inner portion and assumes that there's no material there, which is good. Make sure it's only merging to this bar, like that. Okay, and in order for a link to actually go in there, I need to remove some material here. And I'm trying to think of a good way to do that. Maybe the shell can help me. If I say shell, there's a 1/4 inch thick bar, remove these faces. And looks like it's mad. No, I don't think that'll work. I'm just gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way. All right, you're gonna do on the video about this CSWPMM mold making certification. I want to. The thing is, the mold making certification actually changed. So, when I took it back in I want to say 2016. No, 2015. It was a little earlier than that. I took it back in 2015. It was a very easy exam, actually. I mean, it was very risky at the same time because there's only like 5 questions, and you missed one, you failed. But, if you just go through the mold making tools, you were fine. The new mold making exam changed, and I heard it's absolutely brutal. Like, it's harder than surfacing, is what people are telling me. So I think that's the obstacle I need to get. I actually need to maybe reach out to the certification team and say, hey, can I just try the new mold making? Like, I already know I have it, but would you mind administering me the exam again so I can take it, so I can tell you what to expect from it? But yeah, no, that's definitely one I want to do in the future. But I think before that, I think I'll probably do sheet metal and weldments first, since those exams have been largely unchanged over the years. It's a good question. Yeah, maybe I can just do some mold making for fun, just so you can get an idea of what those tools are supposed to do. Yeah, let me do this. Define the values I want. Yeah, fun fact. When I was working for an official SolidWorks reseller, I was teaching classes, and I was actually the only one there who could teach the mold making class. So I'm actually very familiar with the material. So, I'll be sure to bring that to you guys at some point. All right, so making sure we're only cutting through this body. There we go. And now we can mirror, and all our work is over there. Okay, so far so good. All right, let's make this small pulley. And let's see, how do I want to do this? Yeah, I think I'll get the right plane. If I do control, click, and drag, I can spawn a new plane like this. And I'll try and get that plane in the middle of where that pulley is supposed to be. So that looks like 5.875 maybe. I'm just rounding it to the nearest 16th of an inch. That has worked pretty well for me. Or I should just start using metric maybe. Maybe this is a sign for me to just start using metric. Yeah, I want to sketch on plane 3. All right. Yeah, maybe I do want to move that wheel. If it comes to that, it'll be no problem. Yeah, I have no clue where the pulley's supposed to be or how big it is. But if I do that and then bring it like oblique. Oh yeah, have you ever gotten that you can't really select the origin sometimes? And that's because you're skewed. The true origin of the part is like over there, where the in the wheel here. So I really need to select over here. I know, it's really weird. Yeah, either you can do Control 8 on your keyboard to, bring it back into line, and then you can select the origin, Or you can actually select the origin. So for example, if I'm trying to get a distance from the origin and I can't select it, so I can say smart dimension, this point, and then origin, and it'll just pick it for you. Looks like that wants to be 1.5. And a little smaller. You see, I'm just trying to match it up with the overall size of that wheel. Yeah, I'll probably make this. I was thinking how I should make the pulley. 1.25. Alright, we're doing pretty good right now. I can make like a V-groove pulley from this pretty easily. If I do extrude, mid-plane, if I can click, like that, and then draft, but flare outwards at maybe a 45-degree angle. Ooh, check that out. So pretty easily, I'm able to get a pulley with just one feature. Of course, make it look a little better too, but, this is pretty good. Oops, no, my bad. I meant to uncheck merge result. All right. Yeah, I'm just checking my checking my time. I've been streaming for about 45 minutes. So yeah, I'm trying to make these a little bit shorter too, just so it's easier for people to digest. I might even make like a best of compilation, where I get a stream and I just get like the moments where I say like a cool tip or something like that. Or maybe people like watching longer streams. Who knows? But definitely this is one of the more complicated mechanical movements, so I might be here for a little bit. Up to next. All right, I'll leave the pulley like that. All right, the rope. I'll probably do the rope as the very last thing in the assembly probably. It'd be pretty. I don't know if I'd be able to get it to work, but I'd like to get like the rope moving back and forth. I think that'll look pretty cool. But I'm gonna have to do some dark magic in order to make that work. Just applying some fillets just to make it, break these edges a little bit. I'll leave that one sharp because if I end up deciding to just use the belt and chain function in assemblies, that'll be very helpful to select. But yeah, that'll be pretty good. Actually, make that hole a little bit smaller. 0.37. Yeah, I'll do 375. That looks pretty good. And actually, from that same plane 3, I'll make the bar, or the rod that's supposed to go through. And here I'll just convert, extrude, mid-plane. And now we're going to have like a bar coming out like that. Maybe 2 inches. And it might not be bad to just merge it with this, since there's no reason that the pulley needs to rotate independently of this bar. It might have to in real life, if you need to put a bearing to make this thing actually run smooth. But at least for the mechanism simulation, that will pose no issue. All right, so let's just get this tall thing here. Let's see how I want to do that. Yeah, let's sketch on that. So now we're looking at it as seen from the side. And let's get that. Transform that into an arc. Goes back down again. Okay, so we have that. Well, let's maybe say 1.5. Yeah, and this step height isn't really defined, so I'm gonna have to do that on my own. and say, oop, no, that's right. From here, let's just do it to the origin. Again, one of those things. I can just select it from here. Oh, that really wants to be 7. Let's do that. And actually, I want to make this way smaller. There you go. Yeah, the other tricky part is like I don't want this thing to be so big that it blocks the pulley and then it's harder to see what's going on. But let's extrude that. I'm actually going to do a mid-plane extrusion. This might be a little weird, but you know, just hear me out for a second. I'll uncheck merge result. You might be saying, well, that doesn't look like a bracket at all. But, you know, I'll get my shell and I'll say to remove all of these faces except for those two. Hit OK. Boom. Now we have this little bracket thing. If I hide the picture away, we have this thing. And, you know, just for the sake of time, I won't go too hard with the details on this thing. I'm going to make sure I save. Body, I'll just, oh, yeah, mirror bodies. Yeah, I can just do that, but I forgot to punch the hole. Yeah, the only thing is that you have to leave the hole as a separate operation. I can say intersection, extrude cut, up to surface. Make sure it's only affecting this body. Right click, hit OK. There we go, something like that. And now immediately it's like a lot easier to tell what's going on or what's supposed to be going on with this this image. All right, and now is the issue. So I'm actually going to go back to the very beginning here. Let me save just in case something catastrophic happens. But instead of blind, I'll say mid-plane. I should have just done that from the beginning, honestly. Don't know why I didn't. Might even make that a little thicker, actually. Yeah, let me bump that up from 1 inch to... from 1/2 inch to 1 inch. And as you can see, because of the up to surface conditions that I did, everything updated just fine. So this is pretty good. Yeah, now for the tricky bit. This is going to be different from the left and right hand versions. So from what I can... it's very interesting that they have these two bars going at the same side. If that makes any sense. Like, since these two bars are oppositely opposed, I would expect that this one be on this side and this one be on the other side. Although it doesn't really matter, I suppose. Yeah, I think just for looks, I think I'll have one on either side. I think that'll look nice and symmetric. And that'll be pretty good. Yeah, let me start by actually making an arbitrary length bar for this ratchet wheel to rest on. So let me hide the picture just to see what... Oh, this extrude did not do its thing. Oh, yeah, because I changed it from blind to mid-plane, I need to change it from through all to through all both. That's what happened there. I was like, excuse me, what are you? What is that? All right, so from the front plane, grab the intersection curve there. I'll extrude, and I'll just, for now, make it as long as the device itself. Whoops, I meant to go up to surface in the other way. I want the perpy block, the perpy box. Uncheck merge result. Well, I'll just check it on. If I change my mind, you know, I can just go back and change it. But yeah, there we go. Yeah, but of course, in a real life scenario, you would assemble these two and have them keyed. But again, that is a detail that I'm just going to gloss over. All right, so I'll work on this one first. So this is something I'm unsure about, but we'll take it one step at a time. And really the first step is I need a linkage. It's a bit tough to tell, but slightly. This is a 4-bar linkage. It's really, really hard to tell because from here to this circle is link 1. From this circle to this circle, I think is link 2. That's what it has up here. Like clearly that's a link. So 1, 2, and then from this circle to the center, that's link 3. And well, you might be saying, well, that's only 3 links. Where's link number 4? Well, 4 is what's called the ground link, and that's where you fix your mechanism to. So that's from here all the way back here. So this is a 4-bar mechanism, actually. So I think before anything, really, yeah, we just need to make this 4-bar mechanism. Okay. So I think I already have a plane. Yeah, I'll start it in the middle of this thing. I believe that was plane 2. Yep, that is correct. Plane 2. Let's just sketch. Yeah, I'm just gonna start making links and just see what happens. You can probably copy that, because we know that it's going to be affixed here. So there's our first point. Yeah, I'm trying to think how I want this. Either gonna have like really tiny joints, or like this link is gonna have to lengthen. Yeah, this is kind of tricky. Let's set an angle for this. Looks like that wants to be pretty close to 5 degrees. Yeah, it's kind of tough to see what's going on. I'm just gonna leave it like this for the time being. I need 3 minus a 16th. I always forget that one. 9/4. And yeah, I might just make these simple links just for the sake of time also. Actually, the easiest way, let's get a 3-point corner rectangle. 1, 2, uh-oh, I kind of messed it up a little bit. 3. But I could say that, and this needs to be parallel. That should snap on there, and I think I just have to give it a width now. .25. Alright, so I'll make that my first link for the time being. Selected contours. I'll just select each one of these individually. It's fine. Yeah, as long as they overlap, that won't really pose an issue. Make that 0.5, uncheck merge. Oh, I guess I needed to exclude. Let's see if I can exclude that. Yep, there we go. Yeah, and you can imagine a pin would go there. Oh, Kuro Knight, what's up? Thanks for joining the stream. It's good to hear from you. You're gonna see me struggling with this this mechanism. Yeah, this one's a doozy. I'll give it that. So let's see. Yeah, let's just make another link. We're just gonna try and assemble this 4-bar mechanism. So yet another sketch. I might make this simply a straight slot. Like from here to here. And say that and that co-radial. That wants to be a certain angle, it would appear. Well, actually, let's get its length first. 0.43125. Looks like that's sitting right at 25, 25 degrees. Kylie, that's going to be a negatory from me. Too funny, though. Alright, mid-plane, merge result. Alright, so these are intersecting with each other, which, you know, of course will be problematic if I was actually trying to build this thing, but at least for the analysis portion, this should be fine. It looks like I got a little alarm going off. Be right back. I'm just going to shut that off. I'll be right back. All right. Yeah, so that was an alarm that reminds me to do CAD model of the day every day. And so at this point, I've been streaming for an hour, so this would be typically the point where I would be done with most of most of my models. But yeah, we'll see. Actually, we're getting to the end because I don't have to model this twice. I just have to model this 4-bar links once and then mirror them over, because ideally these lengths should be the same, so it's just the inaccuracy of the drawing, and when you move them up and down, that's where you get the diagram in the image. Yeah, all right, so let me just make this one last link. Sketch. Bring this back, say $1.25. Okay, so that'll be my first thing. And let's just bring this all the way over here. I might have some stuff to trim away. Make co-radial. And actually, so I know the angle of this is going to be defined by the midpoint here. Rob calling out the inaccuracies of the drawing. Yeah, hell yeah. This is my stream. I won't stand for any inaccuracies in these drawings. So I mean, for when they were like published, it's really, really good. And also, to be fair, it's not a technical drawing either. It's just literally, oh, here are some things you can put together that may or may not work. Oh, I want to uncheck merge. That's what I wanted. Okay, so what do I want to do with this little link is the important question. Oh, I know what we can do. If I go back here, maybe say that is 0.25, like that. I'm going to try indent. See if that works. So target body, that, and I will cut with this thing. Okay. Indent. And again, cut with the little link. So if I remove that, so that looks pretty good. I don't know about this one though. Well, I can just really quickly get myself rectangle. And cut through that. All right, so minus the pins, those should be, yeah, that would be at least, you'd at least be able to put these together. As far as long as how long they'd last, I don't really know, but yeah, there we go. So I can mirror these. Yeah, I think this is working out. Now I need to make the interface between this small link and a ratchet tooth. Oh, and they might actually... so I think when this thing is in operation, these two pawls will actually cross each other. So I'm going to actually have to make these only interact with half of the wheel. So it's a good thing that I made this a bit thicker. So, yeah. So actually, let me undo the mirror. And let me get working on that. I think I could just get that done. Let's see if I like sketch on this face. Let's grab this line like that. Snap to there. Yeah, I don't know how this is gonna work, honestly, when I try to animate this. But we'll start here. So what? Oh, I just have to... Yeah, let me get out of here, actually. Go back. Because I want to get a midpoint here. Just like that. So I just did that with the point command. So here to here. And now I can define a length for this. 0.25. This thing is kind of small. And then extrude. Say up to surface. And can I throw the front plane in there? It's gonna look really weird, but I think technically this will work. Yeah, let's merge it with only this. All right, I'm gonna trim that down a little bit. Oops, that's the wrong plane. And I'm just gonna go grab let's do this. I'm just gonna trim this up a little bit, make it look a little better, and then I can say extrude cut through all. I only want to affect this body, and arrow wants to eat this material, so it should take out that region just like that. Yeah, and that's pretty much what I want. And actually, what I want to do with this, not with that sketch, but with this original one, yeah, this one here. this one. 5th time's the charm. Yeah, what I really should do... Yeah, that's fine. I need to actually make this a bearing surface, because a sharp point isn't going to work very well. Yeah, because when I when I actually put the... Oh, hey Bren, what's going on? Found my channel and learning quite a bit. I'm glad to hear it. I'm learning a bit too. I'll be honest with you. But yeah, what I was saying here is, if I put that as a perfectly sharp corner, when I do the motion simulation, it will actually... It's too thin to actually calculate any collisions with. So I think that's gonna lead to some issues. Okay, it looks weird. I'm not gonna lie. But we're gonna see how it works. So if I mirror and just get this picture out of the way. So it's something like this. And I think really that's all the elements. I think we can try to animate this. So, I'm going to save. And yeah, there's a lot of fixtures here. Yeah, let's try this, because I want to export some bodies, but not all of them. So I'll get my delete bodies command. Oop, not delete face. But delete bodies. And actually I got my edge filter. That'll happen. Just get these so to speak fixed bodies. Is there supposed to be a seam on this last part? I'm guessing you're talking about this over here. Technically, yeah, and I actually should make a gap there. They're supposed to be separate. Yeah, I have no clue how this thing's gonna work. Alright, so I have some bodies deleted, and now I want to save all of these other ones out. Alright, so these will be able to fix on there. These will be able to fix on the other things that I had. This, I'm actually just going to make a sketch and convert. And that'll help me, that'll actually help me set this up, the location of the wheel. And I think that's all we need. So I'll search for save bodies. Yeah, I'm more interested on giving this a test run. And I'll propagate the visual properties. And you can say create assembly from here. So this is mechanical movement 82, ASM for assembly. All right, and you notice all the bodies went missing. And this is fine. So if I suppress this now I can actually use this as a fixed part, and to help expedite the assembly process pretty much. That's what I'm going for. So if I hit R for recent, I can go to my assembly. There's the stuff. I'll say insert component. And this is the document I was just working on. I'll just throw that into there. And then everything else needs to be float. And it's just going to be a big old mating party. So here to here. So here to here. This circle and this circle. Let's see. So I think this will have to be a certain distance, but if I don't move anything, it'll already be at the distance. that I need it to go. Same with this. Change that to distance. All right, so let's change some stuff here, some there to there. So you may notice that I'm mating from edge to edge. And that's typically not ideal in an environment where you keep your CAD for a long time, because edges can be very easily destroyed when you fillet them. So it can lead to a lot of errors sometimes. But for me, with these projects that usually only last a day, it's not the worst. Okay, so that should be in place now. I think you just have to do the same thing to this other side. Mating party sounds fun. Yeah, that sounds very questionable now that you put it like that. All right. But I'll tell you what, I like this a lot better than having to place every single component. Like, everything's already in place and we're just locking it in place pretty much. Save, and I'll try and start moving stuff around to see if my work is correct. So if I move this, it should only move, well, yep. Looks like I am missing mate here. Immediate fail. All right, so that seems to be working normally, albeit there's no collisions, but we'll fix that. We'll fix that in a bit, so I'll just undo. So this, yep, same error. All right, I just forgot to put those together. And now that's moving expectedly. This should turn in place. That works expectedly. And this should turn in place. Okay. So for this, let's try something here. Yeah, I actually think we're ready to animate, even though we don't have the rope yet. I can actually just put motors on each of these members and just alternate them. And I think that'll just be fine. So let's go into motion study. I gotta go to add-ins and turn on motion. Go to motion analysis. Yeah, and there's gonna be, let's do a motor from here. I'll say that it is oscillating. 90 degrees will probably be too extreme. Let's try 30 at 1 hertz. And I'll set the offset to 90 degrees. So it should be kind of halfway. And so basically, yeah, it's basically on the way down. There you go. Displacement versus time. Hooray for graphics. All right, so let's do the same thing to this. Wait, which direction did I set the first one? I already forget. Uh-oh, it's giving me like a no. All right, it hung for a second, so I'm just going to do a quick little save. It's one of those. Even SOLIDWORKS is looking at this thing like, I don't know about this, man. I don't know about this. Not sure why it's not responding to my clicks. Yeah, let me close this and reopen it. SOLIDWORKS isn't responding to anything now. Neat. Well, at least I was able to save. Sorry, SOLIDWORKS, but we're done professionally. Yeah, SOLIDWORKS did party too hard. Oh my lord. Yeah, I still have SOLIDWORKS Vaporwave Edition. And the little thing that comes up. We'll try that. Yeah, probably there was yeah, probably there was like a window that was open or something like that, but I couldn't find it. So, yeah, we're back to right where we need to be. Edit feature. So this is going clockwise with respect to what we're looking at. So this needs to be clockwise with respect to where we're looking at. Same settings with a range of 30 degrees, 1 hertz, and set the offset to 270. So that should be on the way up. All right, and I'm actually going to save and run this just to see if I have the basic motion correct. Well, I guess that works, but well, I mean, the things that I defined are doing the things that I want. Now it's just collision and just hope for the best, I guess. Contact groups. I want this wheel to contact with this and this. So doing it this way, I'm specifying that I don't care about the contacts between the two ping parts, because frankly that'll just make the analysis longer. Let's hit save. Well, that did not work either. Oh, why is... Oh, rookie mistake. When I restarted SolidWorks, you see how solid body contact is suppressed right now? I need to set it to... I need to re-add SolidWorks motion in, so I gotta do that. There we go. Let's try that again. Let's see what it wants to do. Oh no. Oh no. It died. That's a party that it just did not want to be part of. Interesting. So let's see if I can do... I think the movement might be a little too extreme. I think these things are going so far downwards that it just completely disengages. So what I'll do to the motors, let's change the range from 30 to 10 degrees on both of these. Save, calculate. Nope, it's a little floppy. So going back. Let's take a think about this. I wonder if this really needs to be a 4-bar mechanism. What if I lock these two members together? Can you limit angular position with floppy things with advanced mates? I'm not sure. And the only reason I'm not sure is normally in an assembly the answer to that is yes. But with motion and I have this to motion, and I didn't have that to motion analysis. I don't know if that'll change, but I'll let that calculate. So there's only a certain kinds of mates that motion analysis is able to is able to support. So width mate, for example, is not supported. Oh yeah, I noticed something here. Now it's starting at the wrong position now. Let's see. Yeah, this definitely is going to be a tough one. You know what? I'm just going to file reload. Just get this back to where it was. Alright, so this is where we were before. So 10 degrees. Yeah, so those are straight. So that's correct now. Oh, actually what I notice is that the 10-degree range is only going from horizontal downward. It's not actually going upward. So that could be a thing. Let me reload this again. I'm actually going to change the direction of the motors. So instead of clockwise, we'll go counter now. Counter. Save. Yeah, it's still being very temperamental. You know, honestly, I'm thinking of changing this such that it is... Oh, actually, I was mistaken before. I know why this thing's so floppy. I was wrong. This is a 5-bar mechanism. Because we have one rotary joint here to another one to yet another one. So that's 3, 4, and 5. So this is actually 5-bar. Which is why it's probably making this so sad. Yeah. Alright, so here's what I'm thinking of doing. Yeah, I'm just gonna take those out. Actually suppress them just straight up. If we'll add them later, we'll add them, whatever. But just from a testing standpoint, of course, that will never go together in real life. There we go. And actually, let me put a positional. Say that. Come on. Well, I can say that this and that should be coincident. Oh, not coincident, but I meant parallel. Parallel, just to get them back into place again. And then suppress them. And I'll just have them for later, for when I need to do other stuff. So I'm just going to start a new... No, actually, I'll just leave that as is. I'll just keep working with the same one. Alright, so if I do that, that is acting a little bit more closer than expected. Now it's just a matter... Yeah, I think I'm going to have to modify the original design. I think I'm going to attach the ratcheting mechanism. Hello, Wajji, what's going on? You've come into the pivotal moment of where I don't know what's going on. But what I'm thinking is I attach the pull to this part here, and then have it interact from here. It might even work with just a simple like thing sticking out, honestly. All right, so let's go back to the original part. So if I say open recent, come on. Back to here. Going before the save bodies. Well, actually, I don't even have to do that. Oops, I forgot to roll it back forward. Come back. Yeah, sure. I can just get this and just do... Yeah, just do some good old-fashioned modeling from over here. I might have to guess at some dimensions, but we'll see. So I just want to see what this will do. If I say that this... Alright, so we'll leave that there. 2.25 maybe. Yeah, so I'm just guessing these dimensions here. I'll do a thin feature. Give that some thickness. And actually, I think I'd like this on the other side. Edit. Go on this side, please. And just make that some amount. Okay, this looks kind of crappy. But I just kind of want... Yeah, okay. I just want to see what this does, is the thing. So I might have to make it this thing a bit shorter. So 0.5. It looks like it's might want to do a thing, honestly. I have to reset solid body contact. So I'll go back here. Let's save. This might have to be shorter still. $375. It's all in the process. Yeah, so I'm going to have to shorten that so that it fits the other one, but I just want to do this as a test. So, we need some contact between this. Oops. This and that. Okay, so I'm going to save and try and run this study again, and you'll see if it moves the wheel at all. Okay, that's not bad, actually. We might have something here. Wow, this is kind of exciting. I don't know if the wheel's progress. I think the wheel is progressing. Hang on. If I actually, I meant to go right here. So gonna get myself a plot. Not linear velocity, angular velocity about the z component, and just pick this face. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so zero's right here. No, so it is moving it back and forth, violently so. We're getting somewhere, though. All right, so how... So what is the distance between this? So 2.5. So it's 1 1/8. So it should just be like that. And there actually might be a solution because it actually does lift that just a little bit. Maybe I just make this even shorter. I don't know if 0.25 will make it angry at me. No, alright, it just doesn't care. It's just literally a bar. Oops. Okay. Alright, so that is like... I need to get a better view. So let me reset this back here. And then say... orientation camera views, replace key. Yeah, so it does go up a little bit. Maybe if I gave this one member a little bit of an angle. Yeah, let me change this to plain white so it's easier. Yeah, that's a bit easier to see. It does kind of have the scrape motion. Or I can actually make this a ton shorter and try and interact with this tooth here. I think interacting with a short tooth might be the way to go. All right, so we don't need you anymore. We don't need you to be vertical. Again, this is just going to be trial and error. It's going to have to get a bit shorter. Yeah, that angle's too extreme. 20. All right, this could work. This could work. All right, so yeah, it is currently out of clearance right now. So I think... Okay, so that did a thing. I think we might actually have to... Man, I'm a little bit stumped about this. I gotta be honest with you. Let's see. I could... Yeah, you know what I think I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make another member. Oops. So let's suppress this. Yeah, just throwing it out there. There's a reason that some of these animations don't exist. Okay, I have an idea. Let's go back here. I'm gonna make... Based off of this part. So let's convert that. I'm gonna make like a little pusher thing. Okay, so that's there. Can make this a certain length. And I'm thinking of just like saving this as its own part once I extrude this a little bit. All right, how thick do we want this to be? Point 3125. All right, so then I'll extrude this. Remember 1.125. Any direction is fine. And I'll get this and say insert into new part. File name. Pusher. Okay, and I should be able to delete this without any problems. Let's see what that wants to do. Delete. Oh no, that's not gonna work. I'm actually gonna need save bodies for that. Save. So that, consume cut. Change that. Oh, pusher's gonna give me a file name error. Pusher1. I don't know what that's about. Failed to save document. All right, this is interesting. Okay, so we're back. Let's go back to the pusher part. Yeah, I hate to be cheesy like this, but I think I'm just gonna save it as a parasolid and re-import it. Here we go. So close that. Oh, sure, save. I mean, it doesn't really matter because I'm about to do that. And then file open. No. And now we have a part. That was pretty cheesy. Not gonna lie. Okay, so I want this to be loose because I want this to actually have like a hinge kind of effect. So let's butt this up against here like that. All right, there's like a window or something that is appearing somewhere. Yeah, it appears that I'm soft locked again. I don't see any other. All right. Well, looks like I'm gonna have to close down. Yeah, Alt F4 doesn't even work. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. This is one of the more challenging parts I've ever done for the entire project. Yeah, and if it gets to the point, you know, I have backup parts that I can do, and I've done that sometimes where sometimes I just have to punt, do something else for the day, and come back to it tomorrow. And if that's what we need to do, we'll do it. But you know, I really want to get this done. So let's add this mate and break. What is this mated to? Oh, yeah, because this is the original wheel. We'll suppress that. All right. Yeah, so I just need to re-add it. Browse, pusher 1. Yeah, so I think this is going to be the last ditch effort. If I can't get this one idea to work, you know, then we'll try something else. This is a hard one. Yeah. I mean, that's what I really enjoy about the project though. This is what makes it fun for me. Like if this was all like cakewalks, it would just feel like exercises, right? So I really enjoy the challenge that especially the 507 mechanical movements. You know what those bring to the table. You know, because there's been a lot of the movements that I just model them, and they just work. Some of them need like one little change, and then there's this one where it's like it really needs a little bit of attention here. Well, that's fine. 1.5. This is this is kind of a guess anyway. Okie dokie. Concentric. So this should be rotating about here. This is correct. I'll place this like there for right now. Let me unsuppress these and then resuppress them. And let's go back into the study and see what we can do. There's a lot of sad things happening here. Holy guac. Let us maybe start a new motion study. All right, fine. We'll have to do it that way. But it's not too bad. The only kind of stinky part is that I have to redo these. So 10 going the other way. But the nice thing is I know what settings they need to be in order to actually kind of work. So the testing phase is out on that. So 10 degrees, 270. All right, let's give this a little run. Just to make sure that the arms are doing what we expect. Okay. The only way to eat an elephant is one bite at a time. I don't know who told me that, but it's very helpful. Let's try a spring now. So I'll grab a spring and maybe grab this point. So I've never gotten the torsional springs to work pretty well, but I am pretty good at cheesing stuff. So since everything here is perfectly rigid, I get that net, you know, inward towards the ratchet wheel motion. So if all goes well, I just realized I did the same thing. You need to turn on motion and make it a motion study. Okay, so I might actually have to move that linear spring. Maybe even make it a little more aggressive. Can I say origin? Yeah, origin and this. I just need a restorative force here. Oh, hang on. I need to tell it that it's length. What is this? The free length? Yeah, just make that really small because I want that spring to pull. Because it's basically doing this. It's just, oh, you have a spring, oh, you push on it, it just goes back. But if I make it small, like 1 inch, it'll assume that it's stretched. Oh, no. Oh, collision. That'll do it. Collision. This to that. Save. Okay. This, we might be getting somewhere. I know it looks very potato right now. If I say use precise contact. All right, so it's digging in there a little bit. But if I get another one of these on the other side now, and yeah, just have them opposed, they might actually advance the wheel. This is exciting, I think. All right, so going back to our model, let us control click and drag to get a copy of this. And actually, I need to recreate this sketch here. So this was I think 1.5 inches tall along the center line. Yeah, David, I actually had that thought too, and you know, that's a really quick thing that we can try as well. Yeah, but I'm like excited because I think it just needs a little bit of back pressure from the other side. Smart dimension 1.5. There. Save, return. Okay, and now we should be able to get this point and this. Put that there. Say that this goes here, and we need, yeah, now it's just a motion study stuff. So I need contact between this and that. I need a spring between this and the origin. Make free length 1. And new mates didn't come in. Well, maybe I have to. I am a god. It's working, guys. It's working. It's working. It kind of sucks, but it works. Oh my god. This is amazing. See, this is why I love this project. Huge payoff. Struggle, and you. I mean, this is what actually happens when you're designing. Like, rarely does things go. Yeah, exactly, David. Holy crap, it works. Yeah, I had to clearly do some modifications, and yeah, crazy stuff. All right, so now that the only thing, how much do I care to mess with this just to make it look a little bit better? Actually, what I really should be doing, you know, just in case, since I technically have it moving, you know, let's actually save out an animation, because if I mess this up, and I have before, you know, at least I'll have like a crappy but somewhat showable version of this. Design is an iterative process, indeed. That needs to be on a plaque. I want to buy a laser engraver, put that on a plaque. But yeah, replace key. So we have it like this. This is a very basic frame rate, right? Whoops. 25 frames. Yeah, I'll just save it at that. I usually save it at 60, but this is going to be the backup copy while I clean this up and make it look better. So 25. Square format, and then MP4. MP4 is the best. If you're saving stuff out through animations, MP4 will give you the best options. The only downside, it's 2019 plus. So if you don't have 2019 plus, save it AVI, full frames uncompressed. That'll get you close. All right, so it's saving. Wow, this thing. This thing is nutty. I'll be first to admit that. All right, so as far as cleanup, yeah, I could turn these linkages down. I think I'm just gonna fill it. These. Yeah, the motion study doesn't pair well with very sharp corners, so I'm just gonna do that. Oops. Uh-oh, we lost him. What happened? Oh, no. Oh, did I just hide it? Okay, I just hit him. I got scared for a minute. Okay, there they are. So if I Run this again. Oh, of course. You guys know why this doesn't work, right? It's because I selected that one point, which then I immediately destroyed with a fillet. The springs don't work. See, this is what I'm talking about. Yeah, so 0.1 at origin. That's fine. Whatever. I misclicked. Linear spring 2. So we got 0.1 at origin. I'll try and grab that. Yeah, the actual specific force of it doesn't matter. You see, this is why I saved out that copy, just in case I can't get it back. Oh, I don't know why this reset itself. 1. Save. I'm not gonna lie, this is one of my favorites. Not only because of like how much how much stuff I put into it, but just like David says, it just looks really cool. And I think for my final trick, all right, I'm waiting for my final trick. I will actually try to make the rope on the pulley. This will be suspect, but let's see. If I go back to model, I will say make a plane. If this goes well, this should only take me like 5 minutes. But then again, I didn't expect the stream to be almost 2 hours long now, so that's where we're at right now. But anyway, let's just try and make a rope here just to complete our animation. So that reference insert components is what I wanted. I want a new part because I'm going to do some in-context modeling. Oh, yeah, it's asking me for the location. Can I click plane 1 here? Yeah, I sure can. All right, what I'm going to do is grab this, convert this intersection curve, and that, also an intersection curve. All right, so that's our starting thing. So now I can go into here, and now I have like an imprint of where the rope is supposed to go. So do I want to do is, yeah, I'll just probably keep it simple, honestly. It's very tempting. I'm such a perfectionist sometimes. Gets in the way a lot, but you know, I am who I am, and I guess that's, part of the reason. Yeah, so I shouldn't be snapping to these things. But yeah, but it's part of the reason that I like doing the work that I do. Say those equal. That needs to be like an offset. Actually, let's put 0.25. We'll make this rope kind of thick so it's noticeable. So this needs a thing. Kind of do it like that. So the rope will look kind of weird when you look at it because there's not going to be any knots, but and the overall animation should look okay, I think. But I will sweep circular this profile, please. Wait, no, let me get out of it. Let me get out of the sketch first. Apparently rebuild. Okay, that was really weird. I was like both in a sketch and not in a sketch. Circular. Let's see if we can make it like that. And then like an even fabric. Just like put like a rope-ish color. We go back. There's a rope. Now the big question is, does it work with the animation? And the answer is, let's just see. Okay, so the answer is no. It's not working. But I'm trying to think here. I could try to... Yeah, what can I try to do? I can make a part whose origin is coincident to this and make that the center of the circle. That could be something. And then move the part up and down. Yeah, this one's tricky. Or, you know, for the sake of time, because 2 hours is a little too long for it's a little too long for the sake of this thing. And it already looks pretty cool, so you know what? Let's exclude it. And you know, that's I've done a couple interviews about CAD Model of the Day a couple times, and that's the one thing that kills me is that I just gotta know when to you know, punt. You know, maybe I'll make that another episode. You know, maybe I'll make that its own standalone video if I can figure out how to get that to work. But I think what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna bump the frames per second up to 60 and recalculate it. Oh my goodness, I could watch this all day. I'll be honest with you. But yeah. So, I think we'll leave it at that. So, I'm going to go ahead. Is it real? Oh, David asked, is it really slow only the first time? Yes, and that's because it's actually it's actually computing the collisions per frame and then displaying the results as soon as it can. So that's the difference between this calculate versus play, that it knows where it's supposed to go, and it's able to move it faster. So that's the reason for that. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead, edit this video together, and you know, thank you for hanging out. Yeah, we got a lot more people, and they stay the whole time. Crazy stuff. I promise I'll try and make the streams a little bit shorter in the future, but you know, this stuff kind of happens. So, you know, thanks for watching, and until next time, I'll see you later. Yeah, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell because I do this kind of randomly. So you want to get those notifications. All right, bye for real. All right, end.